There's a town in upstate New York, and almost every summer, for a century and a half, an event takes place at a racetrack, a horse race, at one of the oldest active sporting venues in North America. This place is different. Hallowed ground of thoroughbred racing, often described as timeless. But why? Is it the history? Maybe it's the people. Or could it just be the horses? Like this one, a champion, about to run in Saratoga's signature race. These are the stories that write themselves. So how will this one end? What will we see today? Sheer brilliance?
Easy goer, New York's Horse of the Year has the lead in the Travers Stakes.
A dramatic upset?
Keen Ice has got him! Keen Ice has won the Travers over American Pharaoh!
Will records fall?
They've left the field reeling behind. Arrowgate, the fastest Travers ever, and a new track record.
Today, the next chapter. Welcome to the 152nd running of the Runhappy Travers Stakes. Saratoga Racecourse in Saratoga Springs, New York. The party is on at the track they call the Spa. This is the day fans have been waiting for, and this is the star they're here to see. Essential Quality champion, 4-5 morning line favorite for the Runhappy Travers, trained by Brad Cox, right now at the top of the sport. But the journey here, a testing one, and his jockey, Luis Saez, winning races at a torrid pace. Saratoga's leading rider, literally chasing history. This is the 152nd running of the Runhappy Travers Stakes. Former champion, now standing at Claiborne Farm. Trackside, welcome everyone. I'm Lafitte Pinkai. This is the biggest day of the meet at the most prestigious meet in North America, Runhappy Travers Day. And for those of you who might only watch a few horse races a year, perhaps the Triple Crown, you might remember Essential Quality was a defeated favorite in the Kentucky Derby, but he bounced back. He captured the third jewel of the Triple Crown in the Belmont Stakes, and now here he is, top-ranked 3-year-old in North America, strictly the one to beat in the Runhappy Travers. Take a look at the field for today's Midsummer Derby. 3-year-olds running 1.25 miles, just like the Kentucky Derby. $1.25 million purse. Post 2, Essential Quality, 4-5 on the morning line. So I welcome in my co-host, two-time Travers winning jockey, Gary Stevens, last year's Kentucky Oaks winning trainer, Tom Amos. Guys, this big crowd, they are fired up. They're fired up to see the Travers and to see Essential Quality, Tom. What's at stake for him this afternoon?
I think the word is redemption. Essential Quality, 8 starts, 7 wins, our champion 2-year-old from 2020. For him, his only blemish was in the Kentucky Derby as the favorite, and it started at the gate. Out of the gate, he got left a little bit, was a little bit wide in that race. Today, in the Runhappy Travers, he has a chance to cement himself in this Midsummer Derby and become a superstar.
And his jockey, a superstar, Gary Stevens, 29-year-old Panamanian phenom Luis Saez, who already knows all about the highs and lows of this sport.
Yeah, being disqualified in the 2019 Kentucky Derby on maximum security had to be heartbreaking, but it showed me a lot about his character and his peers about his character. He never once publicly complained about that disqualification. What he did was buckle up, he worked harder, he continued to win big races at a high rate, and right now he's in the midst of a possible record-breaking season right here at historic Saratoga.
And a Belmont Stakes victory, Luis Saez. Essential Quality, Tom, trained by Brad Cox. You recently said he's having a Hall of Fame career this year. What's that all about?
Well, Brad Cox has had a meteoric rise to the top in the training ranks. He's last year's named Outstanding Trainer for 2020, and now that he's gotten to the top, it's very important for him to stay at the top. And a win in today's Runhappy Travers with Essential Quality would do just that for him and get him those young first-round draft picks back into his barn year after year to keep him at the top of the game.
Might be in the Hall of Fame someday, but he's not there yet. The competition, rival Travers trainers, 2 of them are, as we say hello to Acacia Courtney.
It was right here across the street from Saratoga Racecourse that trainer Todd Pletcher was inducted into the Hall of Fame, joining an illustrious group who have reached the greatest heights in the sport of horse racing. It was owner Mike Rapoli who introduced Pletcher at that ceremony, showcasing the incredible bond that the two have created over the past few years, going well beyond client and trainer. They teamed up 10 years ago to win the Travers with Stay Thirsty, and this year they'll be in the mix again with Dynamic One, who's also owned by the Phipps Stable and St. Elias Stable, and looking to upset in the Midsummer Derby. Maggie? The success of trainer Steve Asmussen and owner Winchell Thoroughbreds over the past 2 decades has been monumental. From campaigning champions Untappable and Gunrunner to rewriting history books when Stellar Tap wore the maroon and white colors and made Steve Asmussen the winningest trainer in North American history. They'll try to add another accomplishment to their resume today in the Grade 1 Travers when they send out Midnight Bourbon, second in this year's Preakness Stakes, but in the Grade 1 Haskell last time, he did unseat his rider in the stretch. Midnight Bourbon will look to get back on track today in this Travers with a highly successful team behind him.
What a summer it could be for Steve Asmussen, Maggie. Shattering records and maybe a first Runhappy Travers. So the Travers is worth $1.25 million, right? And we're not giving you that much to sign up, so how's $25? Here's what you do. Go to NYRABets.com and sign up. Use that promo code FREE25. And that's it. Sign up now. We'll give you $25 to play. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Also free, this deep dive into essential qualities Travers Prep, the Jim Dandy, to our handicappers, Jonathan Kinchin, Paul LaDuca. Guys, never a party till someone starts talking geometry.
Thanks, Lafitte. I got to be honest, though. I think I probably know a little bit more about partying than I do geometry, but I do know one thing. Essential Quality was wide in the Jim Dandy, not the best trip.
No, it was not the best trip, and he proved why he was 2-year-old champion in the Jim Dandy. And, Jonathan, I want you to take us back to the start and talk about his trip and how wide he really was.
Yeah, look, in horse racing, it's a lot like track and field as a comparison. You don't want to lose ground on turns. In track and field, they start them in staggers. In horse racing, we don't do that. As you see, as we're going into the first turn, Essential Quality is going to be 14 feet wider than all the other horses, and that's going to cause some problems later because he's traveling a much further distance than everyone else.
Yeah, and as you see when they turn off the first turn, you lose so much ground. Now you're going to see the head-on here, and you see Luis Saez keep the horse out in the middle of the racetrack. Now in NASCAR, it's a little bit like horse racing. You want to draft off horses and sort of slingshot. He never got that chance. He was wide going into the far turn.
And then here's the problem. Not only was he wide on the first turn, he was wide on the second turn as well. At the end of the race, it's going to turn out that he traveled 38 feet further than the number 4. Keep me in mind, you can see down on the inside, we've got an absolute dream trip in here. And that's a little bit of a problem for Essential Quality in his last race. I think he won't have that problem here today.
Yeah, and I think the most impressive part is he looked like he was a tiny bit empty around that far turn where you're losing the most ground. And then boom, he was in front by the time they hit the stretch. And then when he got to the wire, it was almost like, you know what, I got enough left. It was one of those races where it wasn't impressive, but it was impressive.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying it wasn't an impressive performance from the champion in Essential Quality, but keep in mind, he traveled 38 feet further than Keep Me in Mind. And I think that that's about 4 lengths. And if you think you add 4 lengths to the end of this race, it actually was a pretty impressive performance, and I think he'll run better here today.
The other thing, Lafitte, he might not have been cranked for the Jim Dandy.
Be ready for this one, Essential Quality. And for our viewers, you need to download the Fox Sports app. It's free. You're going to answer 6 questions about today's Runhappy Travers, and you're good to go. Fox Bet Super 6. Today's races brought to you by Claiborne Farm. Pair of Grade 1 events. Grade 1, best of the best. Race 11, Resorts World Sword Dancer on grass. Race 12, Runhappy Travers. Temperature around 77 degrees. Main track is fast. Turf course is firm. They were lined up early this morning all the way down Union Avenue. Fans waiting 2 years to do this. And when the gates open, it's on. Every man and woman for themselves. First come, first serve. In search of that prime backyard real estate. So glad you could join us. Just getting started our coverage of the Travers. The Runhappy Travers on Fox, brought to you by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Over to Maggie in the paddock, standing by with the Sword Dancer Paddock Report. Maggie.
Riders up here, Lafitte will check in with the horse who has been kind of the favorite throughout the wagering thus far in Gafo for trainer Christophe Clement, and he looks like a bull in a china shop coming in off of that effort in the 1.5 miles. Same distance here. Grand Cotier, he is so well muscled. This is the best he's looked prior to a race, and the most energetic yet controlled. Looks as though he might get the right setup too, with 2 speed horses present here in Tribuvant and Channel Maker. Let's look at the European import for nationally renowned trainer Aidan O'Brien in number 6, Japan. This is a horse that in his European form is not devoid of speed. So it's not like he's one of those Euros that's going to lag behind the field, because he is energetic in the paddock. He's got this big swinging walk, and he is shipped over in fine fettle. He's carrying his condition really well. He fits nicely with this group of American horses for this Sword Dancer, Lafitte.
World-class connections, Maggie. You saw Ryan Moore, one of the best in the planet in the saddle for all-world trainer Aidan O'Brien, Japan, all set for his U.S. debut. Welcoming the field front side for this Grade 1 Sword Dancer, 1.5 miles, 3 turns on grass. Breeders' Cup Challenge event, win and you're in for the Longines Turf $4 million event at Del Mar in Southern California. They're excited at the 1863 Club, naturally on this massive day of thoroughbred racing. Runhappy Travers Day, undercard stack. Races like this in this Grade 1 Sword Dancer, all set for the post-parade, starting with Tribuvant and the first of 2 for 3-time Sword Dancer winning trainer Chad Brown.
Speed is this horse's weapon for sure, and Flavien Prat will be aboard. I would think they're going to try to separate here and try to take this field gate to wire.
Maggie said he looks like a bull in the china shop. Gufo, current favorite, talented closer.
Yeah, this horse added blinkers last time, should get a great setup with that pace in front of him. Who better than Joel Rosario to come from behind in a turf race?
Star jockey. Then Rock Emperor, Chad Brown, Sword Dancer second stringer.
Yeah, Chad Brown, the hottest trainer on the racetrack right now, but is Rock Emperor good? Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard, looking for his 4th winner of the day.
Channel Maker, 41st career start. He's banked more than $3.2 million.
He might be the most important horse in this race. Does he try to go to the front, or does he rate?
Moretti, never raced on grass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Is he going to bring speed to the party and make it a little bit more difficult on the 1?
And the European import picture, Japan, currently 7-2.
He was good in 2019, not so good in 2020. He is coming in off a win.
Accomplished, high-class 5-year-old. And on the outside, cross-border, 2-time Bowling Green winner, well-traveled jockey in the saddle, Luis Saez.
Yeah, Cross-Border is going to buy a house here pretty soon. 6 for 7 here at Saratoga with a second. He loves it down here in the serenity of the Saratoga Springs.
Field for this Grade 1 Resorts World Casino Sword Dancer, post time 6 minutes, but there is the star of this show. Essential quality, we have eyes on him. The champ has left his stall and on his way over for the Runhappy Travers. That's coming up after the Sword Dancer. You know how old that program is? 1959. Familiar name, a Hall of Famer, Sword Dancer, winner of the 59 Travers. His legacy honored in the Grade 1 Sword Dancer when our coverage continues. Welcome back to Saratoga Racecourse. Big day. Have this exclusive offer for you at Naira Bets. You join today and get involved. Use that promo code FREE25 when signing up. We're going to give you $25 to play any way you like. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Join now at nairabets.com to earn that free $25. You're looking at Mechanicville, New York, about 16 miles south of Saratoga Springs, a little less than halfway from the racetrack to Albany Airport. Small town population, 5,100, and the birthplace to one of the best trainers in the game. Greg Wolf standing by with the Mechanicville native, Chad Brown.
Lafitte, thank you. Chad, you're going to send out 2 here in this Sword Dancer Tribuvant, Rock Emperor, both in career form right now. What's been the key to unlocking their potential?
I know two different situations really. Tribuvant, we gelded him in the off season. He was a little bit of a hot horse and a little bit hard to handle. It's really settled him down, and we figured out that he's a speed horse that can carry it. So it's really turned his career around. And with Rock Emperor, it's just been, constant patience, a little stop and go here and there, and just trying to figure him out. And right now we have in a situation where we have a good feel for like where he wants to lay in the race and how to get the best out of his last kick. And I have two great jockeys on these horses in two different dimensions, so hopefully one of them get it done.
The main event coming up next in the Runhappy Travers, the lightly raced Miles D you'll send out. What gave you the confidence in him to try him in such a tough spot so early in his career?
Yeah, it's really based on what we thought about him all along since he was a baby. He's always one of our top prospects of this crop, and that confidence you're talking about is in the Travers Stakes. Over this track at a mile and eighth, finishing strong, galloping out well. He looks like he wants a mile and a quarter. He's going to have to prove it against a really, really good horse. One of the best 3-year-olds I've seen in the last few years, really essential quality. So we're going to need that horse to regress a little bit and our horse to run the race of his life to get there.
We know how badly you want it, Chad. Best of luck. Lafitte, back to you.
Chad Brown, Greg, the Runhappy Travers record. You check the profile. Hasn't been kind. 0 for 11 thus far. This is hard to believe. The next Brown-trained runner to hit the board in the Travers would be the first. Best finished gift box fourth in 2016. It has been a struggle. Maybe that changes today. But that's the Travers. Chad Brown done fine in the Sword Dancer. Tied for most wins 3 for now. Paul and JK, say you just signed up. You have that Naira Bets $25 free play. How are you playing it?
Yeah, I got it in the mail today from you, Lafitte. I really appreciate it. I'm going with Japan. I'm going with Japan here. The 6, $25 to win on the Son of Galileo. If you look back at this horse's form back in 2019, this horse is only a couple lengths behind Enable. And if people don't know who Enable is, the super filly that won the Breeders' Cup Turf in 2018, won the most prestigious race, or one of the most prestigious races in Europe, the Arc Jump, back-to-back years in 17 and 18. So I think Japan has the quality to win this race.
Paulie, I'm going to do a $25 double with the 2 Gufo into the 2 Essential Quality in the Travers. It's very, very similar to a 2-team parlay for all of our sports bettors out there.
See how it all shakes out. Lots on the line in this Grade 1 Sword Dancer. Final thoughts, gentlemen, at the gate. You're looking at the favorite Gufo at 5-2.
I think we're going to have a hot pace up front, and I think it's going to set it up for a horse like Japan.
Yeah, pay attention to the 1 Trebivian as well as the 4 Channel Maker. They're the ones that are going to set that pace early. This is a marathon race. We're going 1.5 miles here. There's a lot of time to catch up, and those two, they could burn themselves out if they take on each other and set it up for a closer.
Going to pass the stands twice, 3 turns, all set for the Grade 1 Sword Dancer. Winning, you're in for the Breeders' Cup Longines Turf. John Ambriel standing by.
There in the gate. And they're off in the 1.5 mile Resorts World Casinos Sword Dancer Stakes. And from the inside it is Trebivan. Channel Maker is right alongside, and the two of them are heads apart here in the early going. Channel Maker now takes the lead from Trebivan. It's 2.5 lengths back to Rock Emperor, who races in third. Another 3 to Moretti in fourth. Then comes Cross Border and Japan. They're right together. And Gufo will be the early trailer in seventh as the field comes to the top of the stretch for the first time. The opening quarter mile over the firm going in 23 1/5 seconds. So the leader here is Channel Maker. Channel Maker's in front by 2. Trebivan runs in second. And Rock Emperor in the white cap is next in third. We go back to Japan and Moretti, followed by Cross Border and Gufo under the line. And now 1 lap to go. It is Channel Maker the leader here by 1.5 lengths. Trebivan tracks in second. The half went in 48 2/5 seconds as they move into the clubhouse turn. It is Trebivan chasing Channel Maker. Channel Maker on top. Trebivan runs in second. Rock Emperor begins to move a bit now on the outside from third. Japan has gained ground into fourth, 4.5 lengths from the lead. Farther back, Moretti and Gufo. And Cross Border is now the trailer. 3/4 up in 1:14 2. And they're moving up the backstretch with Channel Maker still the leader by 1.25 lengths. Trebivan on the inside, and on the outside it is Rock Emperor. Trebivan is in second. Rock Emperor runs in third. Then comes Japan in fourth. Gufo has now advanced into fifth. Cross Borders on the outside. And Moretti is now the trailer as they head for the far turn the final time. Channel Maker by a half length. Tribovan is right there on the outside in second. And then comes Rock Emperor. Gufo continues to gain, advancing in between horses. Gufo now moves into third. Japan is down at the rail running in fourth. Then Rock Emperor and Cross Border. The field comes off the turn and enters the stretch. Here's Tribovan to challenge Channel Maker. And here's Gufo on the outside. Gufo has now taken a narrow lead. Channel Maker, Tribovan, and Japan all chasing Gufo as they come down for the finish. Japan with one last try on the outside. Gufo and Japan, and Gufo got it. Gufo by a head to win the Resorts World Casino Sword Dancer Stakes. A thriller after 12 furlongs.
Fireworks in the stretch of the Grade 1 Sword Dancer, and Gufo with star jockey Joel Rosario able to repel that late charge from Europe's Japan.
A little bit of a surprise with Channel Maker making the lead over Tribovan, and the winning move came around the final turn when Joel Rosario split horses, came around Japan and threaded his way through, kicked coming off the turn, and had just enough left to hold off Japan.
Yeah, for our winner, Gufo made the first move on the pace setters in this race. For Japan, who runs second, the 6-horse, he actually has to go around Gufo to get his run started. Gufo started first and gets to the line first.
Gufo, jockey Joel Rosario, world-class trainer Christophe Clement Gary had Gufo primed and ready as he has continued to mature. Gufo has always had the talent. It's been about the maturation and putting it all together mentally so that he can succeed at this level with that kind of performance.
Yeah, and Joel Rosario having a great weekend so far and just continues to roll in these big races. When the money's down, there's nobody in the game that's as strong a finisher as Joel Rosario. He's brave, he makes the right moves, and he finishes stronger than anybody in the game.
When they came to the wire, you could see Gufo had those blinkers on, those blinkers that cover and keep his focus straight ahead. He's now 2 for 2 since Christophe Clement, the trainer, has added those blinkers on him.
Trainer's happy, I'm sure the jockey is as well. Maggie with Joel Rosario.
His third graded stakes on the afternoon. Second grade one. Joel, you have a rapport here with Gufo. Seemed as though he was more aggressive to get the job done today as I watched you weave your way through traffic down the backside.
Yeah, he is. I mean, they look like they come out of day good and good speed going in the beginning, and it looked like, you know, he was taking me really nicely here in the backside, and yeah, that worked out good. So, you know, he was okay.
He was game. He's really turned into a nice horse. What's the progression been from him?
I mean, I think the blinkers a little bit, you know, hopeful. I mean, making lay a little forward, and yeah, it seemed like they were working out.
Joel, we'll see you on Keep Me in Mind in the Grade 1 Runhappy Travers, second to Essential Quality last time out in the Jim Dandy. How do you turn the tables today?
Yeah, we'll see what the daughter have to say, and yeah, the break and see what they want to do. Just let it run his race wherever he want to go.
Joel, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, didn't mean to hit you in the shoulder, but Gufo really putting it all together in this Grade 1 Sword Dancer, Lafitte.
Keeps it pretty close to the vest, doesn't he, in terms of strategy, Joel Rosario?
Well, he said a lot without saying anything there. And what he did say is whatever the horse feels like doing, he can adapt to any situation, but he always tends to make his horses happy. He doesn't force them to do anything that they don't want to do. When he commented on those blinkers, what he meant was that the horse is more focused. He takes him into the race earlier. He doesn't have to work as hard, even though he was a little short of breath. If Joel Rosario's tired, you know he had to work hard because you don't hear him breathe hard very often.
Muscling home Gufo, Rosario, Christophe Clement teamed up to win a Belmont Stakes a few years back. Tonalist denying a Triple Crown attempt by California Chrome. Team up with a Grade 1 victory here. Gufo wins, and he is in the Longines Breeders' Cup turf. And when we return, oh, there he is, the champ. Belmont winner, Essential Quality, marching towards the Saratoga paddock. Odds on, Runhappy Travers favorite, where he'll be reunited with his star jockey, Luis Saez, in search of a first Midsummer Derby win. Coverage continuing from Saratoga on Saratoga's marquee day of racing. What will Essential Quality do in the Travers with star jockey Luis Saez? Stay tuned. Party is on. Downtown Saratoga. This is the weekend they look forward to. They're racing every season, every summer for 8 weeks, but this is the marquee week. Can't spend every day at the racetrack, right? Head up to the lake, away for a couple of days. And from the Windstar Farm Cam, that speedboat going. Gary brings a boat up every summer, usually. Left us hanging this year. Thanks a lot, buddy. So much fun here in Saratoga and on this particular weekend. And how about this story for Gufo? From off the pace, unleashing this furious rally, and a great story involving his owner-breeder, Steve Kennelly. Only horse is owned or bred, and he wins a Grade 1 race at Saratoga.
Yeah, and I really think the addition of those blinkers that focus the horse's vision straight ahead make a big difference in Gufo. Back in his previous races, he'll drift out, he'll duck out. I think the connections finally decided blinkers are what focuses this horse. First run in the speed in this race made him the winner, Gary.
Absolutely, and I'm not even sure if that was Joel's decision to make that first run. He was taking him going into the turn. His main thing that he had to do was find room around that turn. He did that. He did his job, and the horse did his.
Winning pilot, Joel Rosario. Winning trainer, Christophe Clement with Greg in the winner's circle.
Well, Lafitte, thank you. Christophe just telling me here off camera about a quarter of a century ago you won this race. You've been one of the top trainers in the country for a long, long time. How gratifying was this win for a horse who had such high expectations coming into his 4-year-old campaign to get a Grade 1 now as a 4-year-old?
No, absolutely. We always thought he was a top-class horse. It just took us a little bit of a while to tweak a few things. He seems to be running better races, more mature with blinkers on. My only instruction to Joel was, he knows the horse, do whatever you want, and not to hit him, because every time you hit him behind the saddle, he seems to lug in or lug out. So he just won, hands and heels and pushing him, and he was very impressive.
2 for 2 now with the blinkers on. What has that equipment change done for this horse?
I just think it makes it a little bit easier for Joel to follow the pace. In the Manhattan, he was like 15, 18 lengths out of it, and he finished well. Today, we were like 6, 7 lengths out of it. It just makes it a bit easier.
How about this? What a way to start off as well, Lafitte. First horse this ownership group has ever owned.
Unbelievable. And to have that kind of success, a Grade 1 race on the undercard of the Runhappy Travers, the sword dancer Gufo. We mentioned a Breeders' Cup Challenge event. Win and you're in for the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf, the most prestigious long-distance turf race in North America. I look forward to seeing Gufo on a Breeders' Cup stage this fall. We mentioned the undercard of the Runhappy Travers. We see brilliance. We saw brilliance in 2015. Runhappy, he was sensational in the Grade 1 King's Bishop. And now, busy making little Runhappies at legendary Claiborne Farm. He's in stall 1, once occupied by Secretariat. It's like being drafted by the 49ers in a rookie. Oh, here's Joe Montana's locker. Runhappy, terrific sprinter, promising sire. Runhappy Travers coverage continuing. Packed here at Saratoga. And the updated Runhappy Travers odds. Early wagering looks like this. 3-year-olds going 1.25 miles. No surprise. The heavy favorite. 2 to 5 early on. Essential quality, Tom. The $25 free play, all right? For those who have been watching the show, signing up, they have $25 to do whatever they want in this Travers. How would you play it?
Well, I'm going to maximize my profit potential. Essential Quality is a heavy favorite in the Runhappy Travers today. So let's do something a little different. Let's try to predict the winner of the race, Essential Quality. He's the best 3-year-old in North America. He's going to show it today. But then let's also figure out who's going to be second. I like the 4-horse Dynamic One in that spot. So let's make a $25 straight exacta. Essential Quality, the 2-horse on top. Dynamic One, the 4-horse in second.
There it is, Tom's strategy. Win it, you keep it. Lose it, it's on us. Runhappy Travers in 32 minutes. You'll see Essential Quality. There he is. He has answered the bell every time. Highly decorated in search of a 4th Grade 1 win, Tom. The horses you train in, do they know when it's game time?
They do. And the ones that are really, really good, they have almost an eerie calmness to them when they come to the paddock, but a laser focus when they walk into the starting gate. You're looking at a horse that possesses those qualities in the 2-horse Essential Quality.
And it would be a first Travers victory for his trainer, Brad Cox. Brad Cox, who grew up just blocks from Churchill Downs with dreams of winning a Kentucky Derby. He took out his trainer's license in 2004, got his big break in 2010 when he was hired by Midwest Thoroughbreds. However, a disagreement just 2 years into the partnership led to Brad's dismissal, leaving him with only 3 horses in his barn.
It's a huge disappointment and a letdown. I had all my eggs in one basket. When the basket drops, the eggs crack. I felt bad for my kids because, you know, they were used to coming into the barn, looking down, seeing a barn full of horses, and then, you know, they show up maybe at feed time a couple days later, and it's like, you know, what happened? I didn't want to let them down, and I felt like, you know, I had. I felt like we handled it extremely well. I had a goal to pick up a horse a week. You know, you'd open up the program and you find 4 or 5 horses to claim each day. You know, you just go after them.
You live this life once, and this is, you know, what we've decided to do, is train race horses. It's a tough business. You know, it's an experience that I'm very thankful for, and learned so much from it. And, you know, it's helped me to put us in a position where we are today.
Essential Quality's going to do it. Essential Quality has won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Now a 16th to the finish, and it is Essential Quality. The champion 2-year-old has won the Test of the Champion.
This was a colt that, you know, kind of stamped himself as a very good horse from the beginning. And to see him take each step each week, get better and better, and you know the talent's there, tremendous amount of stamina, ability, and showed that at the Belmont with his being able to run a 1.5 miles, and, you know, he's a true Grade 1 horse. You know, we're right where we need to be. The Travers is, you know, the Midsummer Derby, we thought that Jim Dandy made the most sense in giving him a race over the track and preparing him.
Essential Quality won it.
Good often after the Kentucky Derby, Jimmy Bell told me this is the race they think's the most important in a 3-year-old's season after the Kentucky Derby, and it's a race that could add a lot to stallion value. It just meant a lot to win it.
A blessing in disguise, maybe, Tom, is one door shut, others open that otherwise may not have.
May not have. If you're training for one person, you have your eggs in that basket, you don't get to expand your stable as Brad Cox ended up being able to do. This rise, this meteoric rise in the last 6 years from Brad Cox, it's unprecedented in our business. He's at the top of his game.
You know, in 2018 in Hot Springs, Arkansas, I was able to team up with him with a number of horses, and that's when this climb was in full flight. And I was seeing this type of stock that he had, the young stock. He had a filly named Monomoy Girl who went on to win the Kentucky Oaks, and it seemed like he just started winning and winning and winning and getting better and better and better horses all the time. And it's sure fun to watch happen right now.
Just look at the numbers. That rise to greatness from Brad Cox, at least by earnings, the progression over the last 9 years, steadily increasing his yearly earnings. Last year, just under $20 million, still August, and he's almost there. Brad Cox, his kids have a lot of horses they can visit anytime they want. Question today, will Brad Cox visit the Runhappy Travers Winner's Circle? And the Runhappy Travers blanket to be draped over the winner's withers. Who will it be? A lot of work goes into that creation, a lot of work for the right to wear it. Getting closer and closer to post time for the Runhappy Travers, 28 minutes out.
Can Alpha catch Golden Ticket? Golden Ticket, Alpha, Fast Falcon on the outside and out again. And here's the wire. It is. Oh, it's too close to call. Did Alpha get that nose on the wire? It's a dead heat in the Travers. A dead heat.
The drama. Photo finished, the picture revealed, and he couldn't separate them. Alpha, Golden Ticket, the only dead heat in the history of the Travers. The riders celebrating together. Ramon Dominguez, David Cohen, and those colors. Godolphin, owners of Essential Quality. You had 2 canoes in the lake representing the winning owners from the Travers every season, and we expect this year, that year was very competitive going in. This year we have an absolute standout in Essential Quality, 4 to 5 on the morning line here. You liked what you saw when he was entering the paddock here, Tom. Why considered such a standout going in?
Well, he's a standout because he has beaten all comers, and he's taken on everybody that's come his way. He's beaten them except in the Kentucky Derby. He's got something to prove today. He's sharp. He's ready to go. I just see him as an emerging superstar after this race.
And similar to last year, it was all about Tiz the Law going into the Runhappy Travers. Considered the best 3-year-old in North America, a heavy, heavy favorite. going into these Travers Stakes. He did not disappoint, 'tis the law, a season ago, and this was the show that he put on, establishing himself as a Kentucky Derby favorite. Remember, with the pandemic, the Derby was in September. That's what you want to feel like in the saddle, Gary, as Manny done that particular afternoon. Loaded, motionless with 'tis the law.
Absolutely. He was poetry in motion that day, and won with all the ease that the jockey wanted him to win with. Look, I'm not going to tell you anything that you probably don't know when you have these big events. Yeah, you get a little butterflies as soon as you climb on these horses. When you're traveling on a horse like 'tis the law was last September, and they're traveling down the backside the same way as he was traveling through the stretch, those butterflies go away, and it's just pure joy.
There he is, the New York bred, now stands at Coolmore, America. So the canoes, how did this tradition begin? It's been a few decades now, and the stories surrounding the canoe, representing the colors of last year's winning Travers owner, some of the stories, though, a little bit dark.
The old stories of the Saratoga canoe are ones of myths, fables, and legends. As early as 1927, the canoe, just blue, was coupled with graceful white swans in the infield lake. Folks say these symbols of the spa meant that the racing season was near. Now it gets darker. One story actually hinted that the canoe was there just in case a horse player, intending to drown himself, changed his mind. Another myth was that the canoe provided unlucky bettors with transportation home to Manhattan via the Hudson River. Enough of the speculation. The story of the canoe in more recent times is easier to tell. In 1962, fans returned to the track to find that the blue paint had been covered over with the colors of Calumet Farm, whose horse, Beau Prince, had won the 1961 Travers. Since that year, the old canoe gets a new makeover after every running of the Travers Stakes, a 55-year-plus, more palatable standing tradition.
What color will the canoe be tomorrow? For now, the Saratoga colors. Live look there in the Winstar Farm Cam so that the handicappers wouldn't drown yourselves. Like we said, a little bit dark. All part of the Saratoga and the Travers celebration and the tradition. And for the handicappers, of course, again, get involved today. That $25 free play to sign up bonus on our coverage continuing of the Runhappy Travers. Promo code USEFREE25. Play it any way you like. It's on us. Sign up now at NyraBets.com. Again, promo code FREE25. 22 minutes out to the 2021 Runhappy Travers.
Just 3 weeks ago, Todd Pletcher was inducted into racing's Hall of Fame, a two-time Travers winner. Is it time to update the plaque already? Maybe.
Dynamic One captures the Curlin coming off the pace.
The following day, Steve Asmussen became North America's all-time leading trainer, but he's never won the Travers. Well, that changed today. 9 years ago, the stalls in Brad Cox's barn were next to empty, horses taken away. But now, here he is at the top of the sport, and occupying one of those stalls, the nation's finest 3-year-old.
They battle it out in the Jim Dandy Stakes. Essential Quality won it.
The 152nd running of the Runhappy Travers is next.
The highlight every summer at Saratoga Racecourse. Welcome back, everyone. 17 minutes out to the 152nd running of the Runhappy Travers. So we know about Essential Quality, defeated favorite in the Kentucky Derby, won the Belmont Stakes, but then he won a race here called the Jim Dandy Stakes, a prep for the Travers. What'd you make of the performance and the effort?
Well, I mean, for Essential Quality, he didn't break all that well. He was wide on both turns. He ran much further than any other horse in the field, so it was a very, very much a quality race, although a lot of people saw it as a workmanlike race. Another 1/8 of a mile today. We're going 1.25 miles, that race 1 1/8 miles. That's really almost 2 football fields more for Essential Quality today, and he's that kind of horse. He wants that extra distance.
And what I saw in this race was the confidence that Luis Saez has gained over time with this horse. The only time he was beaten was in the Kentucky Derby, but come on, man, giving up this kind of ground and knowing that you have the horse to do it. And look, it looks like he's going to draw off and win. He loses all that ground around both turns. Not the first turn, not the second, but both turns. 38 feet more than the second place finisher. I think he gains from this race, but once again, the confidence that Louis shows in Essential Quality, you can't replace that with anything else.
He won, Paul and JK, did Essential Quality, but there's a reason they call this place the Graveyard of Champions.
Yeah, can somebody unseat him? And I always try to tell people with Essential Quality, it doesn't matter if you hit a home run 305 feet or 450 feet, it still counts as a W. Okay, let's get to the 6 in here, Mask Parade. I know you like this horse a tiny bit because this is a horse that can make the one work for it a little bit, Midnight Bourbon early.
Yeah, Mask Parade's a horse that has some pretty fast speed figures. Speed figures very similar to a quarterback rating. The higher, the better. It's not even close. Essential Quality has the fastest. Mask Parade is right there. Now, he didn't run particularly well last time in the Jim Dandy. He had to move a little bit earlier than I think he would like to. I'd like to see him on the front end. Unfortunately, I think the connections are going to take him back and try to make one run.
What do you make of Dynamic One? Do you think this horse is improving enough to contend?
Paulie, I'm torn because this horse seems to be improving. He's obviously in great hands, but it's hard for me as a horse player to play a horse in a race out of a race like this where he gets an absolutely perfect trip. You see Irad Ortiz in the orange cap and the blue silks right sitting in behind Miles D in the green. And watch Irad, he's just sitting so chilly. He knows that he's going to take this horse whenever he wants him. Couple of shoulder taps, shakes the reins at him a little bit, and here comes Dynamic One. Like I said, I'm torn. I don't like betting horses off of great trips and great rides, but he seems to be improving. And oh, by the way, he's trained by that guy, Todd Pletcher.
Yeah, that is true. He's trained by Todd Pletcher, and he really has grown up, especially in that last race, Lafitte, and that was his first race since May.
Essential Quality, gentlemen, 2 to 5 as we welcome in John Imbriel and meet the jockeys for this upcoming Runhappy Travers.
Saratoga fans, it is time now to introduce the riders for the 152nd running of the Runhappy Travers. Starting in post position number 1, riding Midnight Bourbon. Here is Santana, Ricardo Santana Jr. Number 3, keep me in mind, jockey Joel Rosario. Coming out of post position number 4 is Dynamic One. And here is one of the Ortiz brothers, Irad Ortiz Jr. Leaving post position 5 will be Miles D. His rider, Flavian Pratt. In post position 6 is Mask Parade, the jockey, Miguel Mena. Breaking from the outside is number 7, King Fury. Here's the other half of the Ortiz boys, Jose Ortiz. And completing the field from post position number 2. Riding 2021 Belmont Stakes and Jim Dandy winner Essential Quality, Louis Saez.
Gary, you've never been introduced like that before a race like this, but just the same, what's the mindset at this point?
His mindset right now is Redemption Day. He got beat in the Kentucky Derby as a favorite. I was beaten in 2001 on a horse named Point Given, and it was all about the Midsummer Derby for me. And that's what it is for Louis right now.
Louis Saez standing by with Greg.
Lafitte, thank you. Louis, let's go back to that Jim Dandy. You were wide all the way around the racetrack, losing ground. You wind up winning by a half length, but did you feel if you needed it, you had more horse underneath you?
Yeah, I always feel like I have a lot of horse, so yeah, I know it was pretty wide, but it was he was most the best horse in that race. So I don't know. Let's break from there and see where we are today and go from there.
You're drawn in post 2 today. Inside, you were outside the Jim Dandy. Not a lot of pace in today's race. Could we see Essential Quality a lot closer to the pace than we're used to?
Yeah, probably. I think it's gonna be a lot close, and just go from there. And I hope everything comes out well.
Luis, best of luck. Let's go to Maggie with a paddock report.
Thanks, Greg. And taking a look at the 2-year-old champion and the Jim Dandy winner, Essential Quality, heavily backed right now at 1-2. Last time when he pulled up after that Jim Dandy, he was having a bit of a blow. And since then, his works have been sharper, they have been faster, and he looks like a fitter horse because there was 6 weeks between the Belmont Stakes win and the Jim Dandy performance. So we'll see what we get here from Essential Quality. Same calm, cool, classy demeanor as he always has, though. Number 1, Midnight Bourbon, trying to rebound after losing Jockey Paco Lopez in the Grade 1 Haskell. And Steve Asmussen looking for his 3rd Grade 1 win on the card. Will put his regular rider, Ricardo Santana, for the barn, aboard today. This horse has grown up tenfold. And we see the very hands-on Hall of Fame winningest trainer of all time on his head right now. A horse that can get a little bit bubbly, can get on his toes a little too much. He has remained calm and cool, and he has become so much more athletic and streamlined. I love what I'm seeing from Midnight Bourbon. And then keep me in mind, he is one that Robertino Diodoro has said doesn't always carry his weight well, and today he feels as though he is coming in to this race carrying the best conditioning of his life. We'll see if he can turn the tables on Essential Quality as he finished just a half length behind him. Guys?
Big effort, keep me in mind, in the Jim Dandy. And there you're looking at an absolute legend. Mr. Colney, king of Saratoga. 13-time Saratoga leading rider, multiple Travers wins. With the riders up call, here's Angel Cordero.
Will you write us off, please? Good luck.
Sweet and to the point.
That's how he wrote him. Sweet and to the point.
No.
Right to the winner's circle.
No, he did not
see
write
the look
sweet.
on Gary's face. Gary, how special of a rider was Angel Cordero?
He was intimidating. He was beautiful on a horse. He was strong. He could finish. And then he could come back and say, Papa, I'm sorry. I didn't do it on purpose. That was his best attribute. You couldn't stay mad at Angel.
That big smile. Angel Cordero, 1985 Chiefs Crown Travers victory. You saw him with Mary Lou Whitney, the queen of Saratoga. Angel, the king of Saratoga, here in the paddock with riders up. Over to JK and Paul.
Yeah, let's try to get our $25 back, at least my $25 back with the free play. And you heard Tom a little bit earlier to try to create some value with Essential Quality, who we all think is going to be tough to beat in here. I'm going to use Midnight Bourbon. Glowing reviews from Maggie, and I think Midnight Bourbon's got a big shot to maybe upset Essential Quality. I just don't know if he's there yet. So I'm going to go a $25 straight exacta here, 2-1. That means it needs to run 2-1. Now, Jonathan, you got us alive to Essential Quality for a nice little double. If you were going to create some value with Essential Quality, who would you use in second or third or tries or exactas?
Yeah, that $25 double that we played in race 11, you are alive to Essential Quality for $152.50, so we'll be rooting that home. I think that I would try to get Mask Parade involved. I think this horse shouldn't be 18-1. He's got the speed figures that suggest he can run well. He's tactical enough, meaning he's going to be a little bit more forwardly placed within the race. I think he's a great horse to use underneath in exactas and trifectas.
Mass Parade, as you look at the colors representing the owners running in this prestigious Grade 1 Runhappy Travers. Moments away from the post parade. Best of luck, JK, alive. See, that's what you can do, that $25 free play. Just spinning that into gold if Essential Quality comes through at 2-5. Gary, for the riders now in the post parade, moments away, riders up in the saddle. You hear the call to post, the big crowd. What's going through your mind?
You just want to get out there on the racetrack. You can tell how your horse is acting. It becomes very peaceful, actually. Once you go out on the racetrack, it's just you and the horse. You've received your instructions. but at the end of the day, you've got to call audibles if you need to, and that's what Luis Saez is concentrating on right now, along with the other 6 riders in this race.
In front of this ruckus crowd, post parade for the Runhappy Travers and Midnight Bourbon. Will this be Steve Asmussen's first Travers victory?
A talented racehorse, and I think the longer they leave him on the lead, if he's alone, he could become very dangerous.
Dangerous speed, Midnight Bourbon, then the star of this show, Essential Quality, rock solid 2-5.
He was the best 2-year-old last year. He was the best horse, in my opinion, after the Kentucky Derby, although he didn't win. He won the Belmont Stakes, and I think he'll win the Travers today.
Highly decorated Belmont winner. Keep me in mind, and Maggie liked what she saw in the paddock.
Yeah, keep me in mind. Listen, a lot of people are discounting keep me in mind, but maybe the blinkers have made this horse turn the corner.
Dynamic One, impressive winner of the Curlin Stakes.
He was impressive. He got a great ride that day by Irad Ortiz. The problem is he's actually a horse that looks like he's improving. I don't know what to do with him.
Number 5, Miles D. Flavian Pratt in from California to ride.
Yeah, Chad Brown, a native of Mechanicsville, been looking for a Travers win, and watch him win with an 18-1 shot, the most undoubtful one, you know?
JK says use that guy underneath. Mass Parade.
Yeah, he's talented. He's got a lot of ability. His speed figures are actually pretty darn good. I think he's got a chance to upset Essential Quality, if any of them do.
18-1, and finally to the outside, King Fury star jockey Jose Ortiz.
Yeah, he's knocked heads with Essential Quality a couple times when he was a 2-year-old and has gotten beaten. He needs to improve immensely here at 15-1.
7 top-class 3-year-olds, mile and a quarter. 5 minutes to post. All eyes on Essential Quality, trained by Brad Cox, standing by with Greg.
Lafitte, thank you. Brad, this horse has danced every dance. He's been brilliant. I know you still think and we're convinced he was best in that Kentucky Derby. What's given you confidence about him coming out of that win in the Jim Dandy?
He's just seemed to move forward. He's had 2 really good works over this track, and physically looks fantastic. Mentally seems like he's sharp, so excited about the opportunity today.
He's had a few trips, including that Jim Dandy, where he was outside of horses. Today he's drawn inside, post 2. Is this a horse who's more comfortable running out on the outside and making a run?
I don't think so. He broke from the inside at Oaklawn in the mud. He's taken dirt in his face. So, I just think hopefully we'll get a little better trip today, save a little more ground.
Brad, best of luck.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.
Lafitte, back to you.
From those empty stalls, rebuilt, reloaded, Brad Cox hoping for a first victory in the Runhappy Travers end. The hardware, the beautiful timepieces, Longines timepieces there, awaiting the winner of this celebrated Midsummer Derby. Here's the big hardware. Historic, prestigious, means everything around this town. The Grade 1 Runhappy Travers, who will take down the hardware in the Midsummer Derby. That's next. Welcome back to Saratoga Racecourse. Still have time, about 2 minutes if you want to get involved. It's $25 free play. Sign up at NYRABets.com. $25 to play this Travers anywhere you want. Win it, you keep it. Lose it, it's on us. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime at NYRABets.com. Never know who you'll see at Saratoga on Runhappy Travers Saturday. Governor of New York, Kathy Hochul on hand, taking in the festivities. And ready to watch these 3-year-olds as we are just about reach post time. Final thoughts, Maggie Horseback.
There's a raucous crowd out here to witness this Grade 1 Runhappy Travers. Let's talk about a horse that could be a pace presence. Obviously, Midnight Bourbon, he has to go from the rail, but the horse that jogged right next to me, hello, Miguel Mena, is Mass Parade. He has kept him moving the entire time. This horse physically, honestly, might look the best in this field. I just don't know how he handles the mile and a quarter because he's not really built for it. Look for him to be forwardly placed here. We'll see if he can last that mile and a quarter distance, Lafitte.
Distance, the question, says Maggie, but looks terrific. Mass Parade trying to pull off an upset at 17-1. JK, Paul, we've just about reached post time.
Yeah, and when you look at the top order of the feet, are we overlooking the 3 here? Keep me in mind, JK. In the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, only 2 lengths behind Essential Quality. I know there's been a lot of time since then, but he ran a good race in the Jim Dandy, and since he's put the blinkers back on, or put them on, back on, he's turned into a different racehorse again.
You know, we've shown a lot of that video of Essential Quality being wide, and we said it in there a couple times. But let me remind you, Keep Me in Mind was down on the inside, getting the perfect trip, saving all the ground while the champ was losing ground. If he wasn't going to beat him that day, he's not going to beat him today.
Had everything his own way on that afternoon with Keep Me in Mind, saving the ground, the perfect trip, while Essential Quality was spinning his wheels on the outside. Live look at Brad Cox, who had said Essential Quality has never been better than he is right now. That's to inspire a lot of confidence for his competition, right?
Oh, it does indeed. But for Brad Cox, right now when they're getting ready to go for the gate, and for any trainer, people ask all the time, do you get nervous before a race? Right now, when they're getting ready to go to the gate, you've made the plan, and you know exactly what you're expecting from your horse out of the gate. It's in someone else's hands, and you're waiting for it to basically develop, and doesn't develop the way you think it will.
It's hard to be overly confident when you know that guy is involved. Hall of Fame trainer Todd Pletcher has Dynamic One, two-time Travers winner, Gary.
Yeah, and I give this horse a big shot. I think he's going to improve again off of the Curlin. He's got push-button acceleration. He's going to make his own trip. Irad knows this horse well. I read Ortiz. How much is he going to step forward? I don't know if it's going to be enough to beat Essential Quality, because I think he steps forward today. Off to the Jim Dandy. I think he's going to get a great trip down on the inside, following Midnight Bourbon around there and just waiting to pounce at the right moment coming into the stretch.
Let's talk a little bit about how we think the race is going to unfold. I'm with Maggie all the way. I think the one horse Midnight Bourbon from that post has to go, and it becomes our pace setter early in the race. How much pressure the one Midnight Bourbon gets from the 6, Mass Parade, who's the other speed in the race, is going to have a lot to say about how Midnight Bourbon's going to run the one horse. If he's not pressured, I think he runs big. If he is pressured, that's going to hurt him. And it also has a lot to say about how the horses that come from off the pace are going to run. Our big favorite, Essential Quality, does that, as does the 4, Dynamic One, that Gary was just mentioning.
Windstar Farm Cam, bird's eye view, crowd coming alive at Saratoga. Gary, how will we know? How will we know Essential Quality and Luis Saez is in the right spot early on in order to be effective late?
Look, the thing you want most of all is a clean break running into that first turn, and he's got to get him balanced. First jump away from the starting gate, get him underneath him. If he's live today, which I believe he is, he's going to be dragging Louis into the first turn. I think he's going to put him in a great spot right behind Midnight Bourbon and lead him to the glory land.
Can't concede anything at Saratoga. The greats that have lost here: Manowar, Secretariat, Triple Crown winner American Pharaoh. They call it the graveyard of champions. Essential Quality trying to become just the second reigning 2-year-old champ to win the Runhappy Travers since Easy Goer in 1989. Essential Quality 1-2, loaded into the gate, standing quietly with Luis Saez. Crowd on their feet. It's game time. This is what they've been waiting for. It is post time for the 152nd running of the Runhappy Travers Stakes. John Embrial standing by.
The last horse now stepping up. We're just about set for the start. And they are all in line. And they're off in the 152nd running of the Runhappy Travers. And from the inside post position, it is Midnight Bourbon, and Essential Quality is right alongside in second. Miles D is next in third. Then we come back to Dynamic One, who's running in fourth. Masquerade on the outside in fifth. Keep Me in Mind is at the rail and in sixth. And the trailer is King Fury in seventh as the 3-year-olds go into the clubhouse turn. And Midnight Bourbon will set the pace here. Ran the opening quarter mile in 24 seconds. The big favorite and Belmont Stakes winner, Essential Quality, sits behind in second. Midnight Bourbon steps away here to lead by 3.5 lengths. Essential Quality is next in second. And on the outside is Miles D in third by a head. Dynamic One down towards the rail runs in fourth. Then it's Keep Me in Mind and Masquerade. They are right together. And at the back is King Fury. They're making their way up the Saratoga backstretch, the half mile in 48.4. Midnight Bourbon leads by 3. Essential Quality tracking in second. And then comes Dynamic One, who's running in third. Miles D in fourth. Keep Me in Mind in the white blinkers is next in fifth. Right alongside is Mass Parade and King Fury. And now they're getting closer to Midnight Bourbon. Midnight Bourbon is the leader here by a little more than a length. Essential Quality is in second as they go into the far turn. 3/4 went in 1, 14 and 2. Midnight Bourbon the leader, Essential Quality, and on the outside, Miles D now makes a run. Dynamic One down towards the rail in fourth. Then Keep Me in Mind, Mask Parade in the clear on the far outside, and King Fury. They are coming for the top of the stretch in the Runhappy Travers, and it is Midnight Bourbon and Essential Quality, and now their heads apart as they head for home with the roar of the Saratoga crowd. It is Essential Quality on the outside of Midnight Bourbon. The two of them are right together inside the 8th pole. Essential Quality narrowly. Midnight Bourbon continues to battle on. They're coming down for the finish. It is Essential Quality and Midnight Bourbon. Essential Quality has won the Runhappy Travers. He won the Belmont with class. He wins the Runhappy Travers with style.
The heart of a champion. Essential Quality, relentless in the stretch, finally wears down Midnight Bourbon in the Runhappy Travers.
And Luis Saez rode a great race. He knew the horse to beat with the easy lead was Midnight Bourbon. He attacked him going into that far turn. They picked it up, extended their lead from the rest of the pack, separated themselves, and Luis had to stay busy. Ricardo Santana busy down on Midnight Bourbon. Listen, he's never going to win flashy. He just gets the job done and just keeps winning.
And for the one horse Midnight Bourbon, his race today, which was maybe the best we've seen from him in his career, was dependent on what happened at the beginning of the race. Nobody decided to chase him. He made that lonely lead by himself. He conserved a lot of energy for the top of the stretch, and it took everything for Essential Quality to go by him. Fortunately, Essential Quality was placed very strategically well early in the race. He had first jump on Midnight Bourbon, second down the backside to his outside, and was able to collar him here at the end.
Refuses to lose. The surge late, Essential Quality. And for Brad Cox, you saw the story, lost most of his horses, had 3 horses in training as his kids would like to come to the racetrack and see there weren't any horses. Rebuilt, reloaded, now with some of the biggest owners in the sport, and now Brad Cox, a Runhappy Travers winning trainer.
Well, he's got horses at about 15 different racetracks that they can go to.
And his jockey, Luis Saez with Maggie.
And as Luis Saez has told me in the past, this is one smart horse. We're never going to see him blow out a field, Louis, but he knows where the wire is and he knows how to win.
Definitely. What a wonderful horse. I just so blessed to be, in connection riding this amazing horse. Man, yeah, he's brave from there running. He controlled the pace. I know the horse in the lead was very comfortable, but I know when Essential Quality is going to make his move, he's going to, fight for the race. So.
Well, it seemed as though you made the intentional move to get him out of there and force the pace a little bit going into the first turn.
Definitely. That's what my plan. Try to break running from there and make the pace go a little bit because, if we break and sit, they're going to walk. So that was the plan. Try to break running from there, and the rest he did it.
That's why you're the leading rider here at the Saratoga meet. Smart rides. But Louis, from day one with this horse, you have been such a big part of the team with him, and you are on him in the mornings. Talk about his development and your connection with Essential Quality.
Wow, this horse is so special for me. I've been around a lot of good horses, but Essential Quality is a special horse. He's very smart, like I always say. He does his job. He knows how to do it. Look at him. He's feeling like nothing happened. And he's not that kind of horse like he's going to win for 20 lanes, giving everything in one race. He always saving for the next race. So that's a great, great horse.
That's what makes a champion. Louis, congrats.
Thank you so much, Maggie.
He's looking for another championship year. Essential Quality taking the Grade 1 Travers. Lafitte?
That Kentucky Derby disqualification seems like a long, long time ago now, doesn't it, JK and Paul?
Yeah, it really does. And I'll tell you what, Luis Saez won this race on the first turn. Bottom line, JK, because Midnight Bourbon was traveling with his ears up, ready to run a huge race. And if Louis not on his hip, I don't know if he beats this horse today.
Yeah, Louis obviously making all the right decisions here at Saratoga and claiming races and in obviously the biggest race of our meet. I will say this about Essential Quality. I think it's very unique, and people at home that don't watch racing very often, 2-year-old champions do not always turn out to be great 3-year-olds, and this horse is magnificent.
Yeah.
Think about that 7th grade quarterback that was taller than everyone else, and he had to get caught up. This horse, they're not catching up to him. He's just that good.
I try to put Essential Quality Lafitte into baseball terms. Now that I saw him just rate off Midnight Burden, this is Ohtani. He can hit and he can pitch.
He can do it all. Just the second 2-year-old champ to win the Runhappy Travers since Easy Goer. In 1989, he refuses to lose. And for trainer Brad Cox, Tom said at the top of the show, a Hall of Fame career this past year. And now he can add a Runhappy Travers to the resume. Blanket awaits. The 2-year-old champ strikes. Essential Quality. What a stretch drive. Midnight Bourbon doing everything but winning. In the end, too much champion, too much Essential Quality. Godolphin, colors of the winning owner. Right from the start, Saratoga erupted. And in the stretch, Gary, inside Midnight Bourbon, doing everything, digging, fighting, but Essential Quality had that much left.
Yeah, and Essential Quality, he stumbled a little bit leaving there, and the athlete that he is, he recovered immediately, got on his feet. He was in Louis' hands. He said before the race that he was going to tell us what was going on going into that first turn. He rode a perfect race. Essential Quality ran a perfect race.
Gentlemen, redemption. Redemption. We saw it today, and we saw him stamp himself, Essential Quality, as a superstar. He is the best in his division, 8 for 9 lifetime now. The one lone loss, you can just wipe it off the board now. He has
Down to Greg Wolf in the winner's circle. Awaiting the trophy presentation, some technical difficulties, and the presentation to the winning connections with Godolphin, trainer Brad Cox, Luis Saez, and that colt. Essential Quality coming through in a big way, top of the stretch again here, Tom. Midnight Bourbon, and you knew Ricardo Santana had something left underneath him when they turned for home.
Oh yeah, he was on a lone lead. He saved a lot of energy for the end of the race, but he's just not good enough for our champ, Essential Quality. You know, you're watching Essential Quality strut his stuff. This is what he does. This is how he beats fields. And with that blanket on after the race, he walked like a champion. He strutted his stuff all the way back to the barn as he passes us right now.
Look, there were 5 other horses behind these 2 individuals that ran first and second, and the separation that they made from the 8th pole home just asserts how good they are.
Governor Kathy Hochul is there presenting the hardware. You see Luis Saez, winning rider with his family. Lost his younger brother in a riding accident a few years back. He's experienced the highs and lows of the sport, disqualified in a Kentucky Derby, now at Belmont winning jockey, Runhappy Travers winning jockey, Essential Quality. Gentlemen, at the top of the show, we discussed this about being what was at stake and potentially a championship. The champ came through in a big way.
Came through in a very big way. Couldn't be more proud of a good horse like that.
Listen, he's definitely stamped himself as 3-year-old champion today and could go on the Horse of the Year honors.
Essential Quality in the Grade 1 Runhappy Travers, yet another Grade 1 victory added to his resume. We thank you so much for joining us for our coverage of the Runhappy Travers and this big crowd of the biggest day of the year here at Saratoga. And what a show they were treated to. Wall-to-wall Grade 1 racing, excited finishes, and with the sun having set, in the end, it came down to a champion. Essential Quality exerting his superiority, becoming the 152nd winner of the Runhappy Travers. Have a great night, everyone.